They don't care.
Sorry. Why does no one watch your self-improvement videos? You have so much knowledge within you that you can use to help others, but no one still watches your videos. Why?
Because they don't care.
In all seriousness, people just don't care about what you have to say. It's the harsh truth and you need to hear it. But this can even apply to me as well. Some of my videos get barely over 10 views after being uploaded for over a week. And so here's why people do not care about your self-improvement videos. Either you're too unknown or too boring. Because think about it. You could listen to Hamza or Andrew Tate talk about their small insignificant life stories, and you would love listening to them. But a person that you don't really know could have the exact same things happen to them. They would try to tell their story and you wouldn't even care. You wouldn't even care to hear the start of their story. This is of course partly because the brain likes familiarity, and opening yourself up to someone new will always be at least a bit uncomfortable. You may not trust what the other person is saying is true, the delivery seems boring, they don't seem confident in what they're saying. It could be a wide range of things. You've probably watched someone who fits one of these points, and when you compare them to someone like Hamza or Andrew Tate, the difference is night and day. Well, even just firstly, you trust someone like Hamza or Andrew Tate because they show you that they are selfless, by giving you value in the form of motivation and knowledge without asking you for anything in return. In addition to the fact that they've been doing this for a long time, and you can go through their old content and see how much value they have gave without asking for anything in return. And you would of course trust someone more the longer they have been doing the thing in context. They are not overly animated with their delivery, but they use emphasis, tone, pauses, hand gestures, among other things that will make them entertaining and not boring, which makes anyone follow along with what they say much more intently. Not only are they confident with what they say, they couldn't be more confident. But what they do, instead of telling you that you should do something or something is good to do, they tell you that you need to do it. But do you have all of the mentioned things? Very likely not. Most people, including you, try to replicate successful influencers like Hamza or Andrew Tate, but only replicate the words that they are saying and nothing else. I know that I've seen my fair share of watered down Hamzas and Andrew Tates, and you've definitely seen them as well. They're the kind of men who kind of preach the same things in the same way. You can tell they have a similar mindset and similar beliefs, but something is completely off and they are unbearable to watch. Which is like taking a comedy sketch, taking away all the tone, emphasis, enthusiasm and timing, and only reading the script from that sketch expecting it to be funny. And the point that I'm trying to make is this. The same way you could read a script from a comedy sketch, and trying to replicate it by keeping the foundational building blocks being the words, but taking everything else away, means that it wouldn't end up being funny. The same way you could take a concept from Hamza or Andrew Tate and try to explain it, while taking everything away but keeping the most important part being the words, which means that the message won't end up being powerful nor inspiring. What I've seen happen many times, and you've definitely seen it too, where there are self-improvement channels trying to teach positive and helpful things, but they seem so unenthusiastic, and it literally feels like you're reading off the words of a textbook in video form. There's basically no personality behind the words that are being said, and that makes the message uninspiring and ineffective. And I am definitely not attacking anyone because I was in exactly the same boat. Even just a handful of months ago, I wasn't interesting to listen to, which meant no one watched my videos. And honestly, looking back, my videos were boring and long to listen to. They were the kind of videos that would make a 3-minute video seem long and would make you skip forward to get to the point faster.
Percent is where you actually do work. So you end up sitting at your computer for an hour and only getting 15 minutes worth of work done.
Whereas more so now, I'm trying to talk and word things in such a way that it makes you want to wait and listen for every next sentence that I have to say, so that you're engaged and fully understand the point that I'm trying to make so you can remember it better. There's a really good Alex Hormozi quote for this. There is no such thing as too long, only too boring. As you would gladly sit through a 2-hour podcast watching the right person, but you couldn't even watch a 5-minute video from the wrong person. You make people care about your videos by firstly making videos that people care about, targeting their pains and desires, and acting like someone that should be cared about by behaving in the right way. You need to try to be interesting and engaging and not care about what other people think of you. Because nearly anybody in any situation would benefit much more if, say, 50% of people really like them and 50% of people really didn't like them. Take for example if you were walking through a city or town and you realised you were getting hungry, and you've seen 2 food places right beside each other, and one says, we do all types of food whatever you want, and the other one says burgers for example. There are very few people and you are very unlikely to go into the shop that just says food, since you can't have an opinion on it since they do everything and try to please everyone. And on the day, you may not even want burgers. So it means that you would have an opinion on the burger place by not liking them. But then it means that you remember it because you know that if you ever want burgers, you will go there. It's basically not stretching yourself too thin. As another example would be, say if you were buying protein powder. Unless you really care about saving your money, you're going to go to a food specialist or a fitness shop because you know that they focus on making good protein powder, and so you would be much more likely to get a good product. Whereas you can get a protein powder that is dirt cheap but also tastes like dirt, because the company that would spread too thin and try to please everyone with all their products couldn't focus on making a fantastic protein powder. There was one time I bought a really cheap protein powder just to save money, and it's from a company that makes protein powder but also makes construction boots. And so how good is their protein powder going to be if their attention is split onto protein powder and construction boots? Those are two very different niches and will require very different people specializing in each to be good. And just one more example. You care more about people you don't like in comparison to the people that you don't care about. Take people from your school that you didn't like. You can still think back to this day even if you've been out of school for 4 years. And remember that this person did this and you feel this way about them and so blah 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 and on. But there are people that you never even spoke to and you have no opinion of, and they take up no room up in your head at all. And so it literally means that you spend more time thinking about people that you don't like rather than people that you don't care about. And so in conclusion, it is more important for you to be disliked rather than no one care about you at all. Because if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. But if you try to please a group of people, you will do that, but at the expense of different groups not liking you. And that is exactly what you need to do, because on self-improvement, you will say things that people won't agree with, because they want to feel sad and sorry for themselves and not do anything. And so they will get upset when you call them out on their bullshit. And you doing that also shows your virtuousness, because you will continue to make videos and say what you want, while being indifferent to the people who dislike you, which means that you become an even bigger role model for the men you teach, and you don't act spineless by trying to please everyone with your words. It's not the algorithm's fault that you get no views, it's your own fault. You make people care about you and your videos by firstly making videos that they care about, and having a good personality that complements the message that you're trying to send, alongside being interesting, enthusiastic, and a good storyteller. People are needing to hear your message as well, so go out and deliver to them. I know you can do it.